What if the song Born in the USA never existed? It almost didn't. Welcome to the Muy Macho and gather around because I've got a burning question that's been rattling around my brain like an earworm from a jingle you can't shake off, no matter how hard you try. It kind of makes you question your life choices at 3 a.m. And please do subscribe if you're new here. So, what in the name of all things rock and roll is this Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere movie even about? I mean, is it a biopic, a musical, therapy session set to guitar strums? So I've been pondering this ever since I saw the trailer pop up a while ago and, looking all moody and introspective like Batman brooding in his cave, but more flannel and less cape. The Bruce Springsteen, the boss himself, the guy who turned blue collar angst into anthems that make you want to drive cross country in a rusty old pickup. How do you bottle that lightning into a 2 hour flick? Is it going to capture the essence of Born to Run, or is it just going to make me run to the exit? I'm genuinely curious here. So let's unpack this thing like we're Indiana Jones raiding a tomb full of vinyl records. So first off, let's give credit where credit's due, which I love to do, because even in my skeptical haze, there are some pros that sparkle. All right, Jeremy Allen White as young Bruce. All right, that is intriguing. The guy's got that raw, kind of hungry energy from the bear. The chef, he's always one meltdown away from flipping a table or something. He could totally nail the tortured artist vibe, staring into the abyss of a 4-track recorder like it's the existential void from Inception. And critics have noted his potent restraint and embodiment of the rugged working class ethos, making him seem convincingly like a man caught in his own contradictions, which Bruce was at the time. And the music, come on, it's Springsteen's career-saving Nebraska album, which I did have way back then from the Columbia House Record Club. All stripped down folk rock that's rawer than a sushi dinner date. So weave in those haunting tracks like Atlantic City or State Trooper. It might hit you harder than Thanos snapping his fingers. Poof. Yeah, instant chills, man. Plus the supporting cast, Jeremy Strong is John Landau, Bruce's manager. Could be Oscar gold for the dramatic tension. Some say the dynamic between them is itself worth the price of the admission. The director, Scott Cooper, he did Crazy Heart, which turned Jeff Bridges into the grizzled country star icon. That was a really, really good movie. So, props for aiming high and for providing a sincere look at the creative process as something sad, scary, and sometimes uncontrollable. So it offers insights into how Springsteen approached album making while grappling with his demons, which could linger and grow your appreciation if you are a diehard fan. But hold up, let's flip the script here and dive into the cons, because oh boy, do they pile up like plot twists in a Night Shyamalan movie that you see coming from a mile away. For starters, the whole premise feels about as niche as a Star Trek convention, all right? I mean, who's the audience here? Is it diehard Boss fans? While they might geek out from the behind the scenes of the recording of Nebraska in Bruce's bedroom, but for the rest of us, it sometimes is like watching paint dry. Okay. And Jeremy Allen White, talented, sure, but trying to embody Springsteen's Jersey grit, it's like casting Ryan Gosling as Wolverine. It might look good on paper, but doesn't really have claws. And the script, from what many reviewers are saying, it's all about Bruce's inner demons, depression, and that lo-fi album born from isolation. But it does rely heavily on stagnant biopic tropes like creative inspiration montages, making it not particularly cinematic in a kind of conventional sense. The pacing, though, I do have to let you know, it is about as slow as molasses in wintertime, if you could imagine. 2 hours of a guy mumbling into a tape recorder. I would rather binge watch paint swatches. All right. And don't even get me started on the authenticity. Hollywood's usually, I mean, as usual, their take on rock legends often feels about as phony as a weather forecast from Ron Burgundy. So this one is so respectful and dignified, it comes off almost like puff, lacking the kind of expose edge. And Bruce Springsteen, he's in the club. So nothing's gonna get on him. It is introspective and slow moving with clumsy and cliched execution. Despite the good intentions that it does have, it feels like a soulful piece, but with quite a few missing parts. So this film doesn't do enough, right? I don't think to contextualize the breakthrough in Nebraska, showing the headaches for the team, but with the technical sides that aren't really dramatic. They're quite boring if you spend any time in the studio and limited interest in watching the depression unfold. So then there's the chilly compromise between the kind of hard scrabble portrait and in fact, now that I think of it, I think the album cover is in black and white. Check that out. Let me know if it is. It seems convinced that it has to atone for the sparseness with auto-tune noise, lacking finesse to transfer that essence into a commercial format. Okay, boy. And honestly, some critics flat out say the problem is Nebraska itself. The lo-fi austerity it's a bore, and the movie feels off really from the very start. Let's talk about the visual style here. That moody early 80s aesthetics, dim lighting, endless shots of rural America, which I love, but anything could be overdone. It's like if Terrence Malick directed an episode of Stranger Things. All atmosphere, no substance, kind of leaving you pondering life while checking your watch at the same time. Okay, you know the feeling. So pros do like the soundtrack, but it can't save it if the story is as engaging as the tax audit. His vulnerability is legendary, Bruce's, but on the screen, it risks coming off a little bit cheesier than a rom-com montage from The Notebook. All right, the cons outweigh the pros here, like Godzilla stomping on a Lego city. It's ambitious, but ambition without execution is just kind of a fancy word for a flop. So, all right, so let's cut to the chase here because after mulling this over, I have reached my verdict. Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere is terrible, unfortunately, in the end, folks. Straight up not worth the price of a ticket, let alone the popcorn for this 2 hours you'll never get back. It's kind of like if you took the soul of Almost Famous, which is a classic that you must see, and drained all the joy out of it, replacing it with the brooding of Joker minus the chaos. So the result, it's a snooze fest disguised as art. Okay, so save your money for maybe some actual Springsteen tickets if you got a couple grand, or better yet, pick up a copy of Nebraska or download it and imagine your own movie. This one's delivering us straight from nowhere. Trust me, you don't want to hitch that ride, baby. Okay? It's a pass harder than dodging spoilers for the next Avengers flick. So stay home, crank up the old Thunder Road, and you could thank me later on that one. So that's going to do it for the Muy Macho today. Please comment. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And I really would like to know what you think about it. So that's going to be it for today. And then we will catch you down the road there. Adios. Later. Bye.